Welcome to the Mind Body Podcast, your rebellious podcast about a strong body, calm mind, healing, and fully living. I'm your host, Maria Angelova, creator of the Angelova Method, an integrative approach to mind and body connection. The Angelova Method redefines your success equation to include a healthy body and a healthy mind. Hi, Rebels, and welcome to the Mind Body Podcast, your rebellious podcast with me, your host, Maria, where it is all about a strong body, calm mind, healing, and fully living. And I know every time I tell you that I have a special treat for you, and man, there have been so many amazing guests. Today's guest is extra special, especially to me, because that is my baby girl, Sophie, who just completed the National American Miss Pageant. Congratulations.
Thank you.
And is here to talk to us about her experience because, okay, guys, there might be some tears from a mama here, tears of joy and pride. I just thought Sophie did so amazingly at the pageant, and her and I have had some amazing, profound conversations on so many different mindset-related topics that, I mean, this is what I do with my adult clients, and I am so proud of her, and I want her, and she said yes, you guys, I want her to share her experience, her growth experience, because I think what she talks about is not related to her age group. I think this is stuff that we all go through. And I do hope that her sharing her story will be an inspiration for everybody who is listening. Are you ready, baby girl?
Mm-hmm.
Okay. So 3 words, we have to start like a regular guest that describe you. Give us 3 words that tell us who is Sophia, maybe a little bit of a backstory behind each word.
Okay, for some words, I definitely consider myself as someone who's mature for my age because I feel like I talk about a lot of topics and subjects that not many girls and guys my age talk about. And I feel like because of that, I just have more of a mature self of my age.
Okay, mature is 1. And speak
My
up just a little bit more so the mic can grab your voice.
my second word would have to be outgoing because when I was younger, I was definitely more of a shy kid. I didn't socialize with many people other than my friends, and I would definitely not be talking to other people and doing stuff such as this pageant. And because I feel like I've grown more and I'm now more of like an outgoing type of person, just like her, my mom. I've gotten more where she used to have to force me, like, go talk to these girls, go talk to these girls, make friends. And now on myself, I go and I'm like, oh, I want to make friends. And I'm going, socializing with people, talking to people, and getting to know others as well. And for my third word, it would probably be smart because even though sometimes we may have struggles in school, I do consider myself someone who's smart because unlike some people, I got to go through some schools without having to maybe study as much. And even though I got through it eventually, I did have to eventually study because without that, it wouldn't have been too good. But I got to study and I got to learn more. And with that, I feel like I've grown as a person and been smarter about my choices and not just like academic wise. I feel like I'm smart in what I do and I make good choices.
Yeah, I'm so proud of you. And I can attest as the mom that yes, that has been tremendous choice. And you know, for especially I think the American culture that we live in, I come from Bulgaria. The Eastern European culture is very different to where you don't, well, at least in my time, you don't have to be as outgoing and put yourself out there. And I was always that kid who's like, hi, my name is Maria. Would you like to be my friend? And that is something that I wanted Sofia to experience, those friendships, to put herself out there. And when she was younger, I'll be like, if you don't go, I'm going to go meet those girls right now. And she'll be like, oh my gosh, mom, please sit down. And this pageant, yes, I mean, she went to girls, she asked for their numbers or Snapchat or whatever information they're exchanging and was connecting with people and presenting herself. And I just thought that is so cool to observe that kind of growth and maturity in her. So, Sophie, let's talk about a few deep topics. And I do have to tell you, Rebels, the conversation I have with this young lady are so profound and so deep. Let's start with talking about your speech about self-doubt.
Okay.
One of your presentations was about self-doubt. Tell us why you decided to talk about self-doubt.
I decided to talk about self-doubt because I feel like that's something that I used to have, and even to this day I still have, which it's not just me, thousands, millions people have.
Everyone
Everyone
we
has
all do.
self-doubt, and they start to second guess themselves, and they start to have fear, and it stops them from trying things, taking on challenges, which I even said in my speech, because I feel like self-doubt's a big thing. It prevents us from doing stuff, and it almost prevented me from even doing certain things in my pageant, such as giving a speech about it. So when I was trying to think of what to do for my speech, I decided that it would be a good topic to give, because I know it's not just me who struggles with it. And even for the other girls who gave their speeches, I'm sure that they were stressed out, thinking that they wouldn't do well. And it's not just them, it's everyone. And I thought that it would be a good topic because not only is it relatable, but it gets deep, and it makes people feel like it's not just them.
Yeah, it makes it relatable. And one thing we talk with Sophie is also vulnerability. And do you want to share about certain parts of your speech that we kind of went back and forth about including and not including, and how we talked about the topic of vulnerability?
For example, in my speech, I brought up how many people are afraid of public speaking and how I was one of those people, because before this like pageant and before getting on stage for dance, for speaking, and even just in school, I've never wanted to like get up on stage. And even when my mom, she's like, oh, go volunteer for this, or she wants to volunteer, I'm like, no, put your hand down, don't do it. And just with it, I felt like I should be able to tell people how I felt. So in my speech, I included how I was scared and how I almost didn't give the speech due to not feeling like I was gonna do well. And it began to scare me. And originally, I didn't even sign up to give the speech. But as time went on, I changed my mind and I was like, you know what, I can do it. Many people feel the same way about me and they do like well. So I thought that it should be my time to go give it my best. And even if it wasn't good, it's a learning experience that will get me through it, and I'll do better each time.
And you did.
And I did.
Can you tell us, did you feel a difference in your growth comparison to, so she did the pageant last year, and this is the second time she attended the pageant. Did you feel a difference in how you presented yourself? Because I 100% saw huge growth in you.
I definitely saw a way with how it was better than last year. And last year, for the speeches, you're able to have a piece of paper that you can read off of. And last year, I did not put, I mean, I tried to, but not anything close to how I did this year, of just like reading it. So when I got up on stage, I read completely off that sheet of paper that was in front of me. While this year, I definitely put forth more of an effort to try to read without like
You mean to
reading the
not read?
paper. Yeah, to not read, by trying to use memorization. And with that, I feel like I did better, and my topic this year was a lot stronger than last year. And even though I had some stuttering moments where I had forgot what I was doing and had to look down, for the most part, it was good. And many people applauded me and congratulated me on how my speech was.
Yeah, her speech was amazing. The nerve got to her at one point. Her performance, though, was amazing. Her topic was profound and deep. And again, I'm so proud of just the way she carried herself. The way you stood tall and spoke loud, and we practiced intonation, and it was amazing. Let's talk about walking on stage. You took a deep breath. Tell us about that.
For walking on stage, you're not speaking, so it should be more of the easier part. But for pageants, you're supposed to walk slower. And I did not walk slow. We had to do it twice, and the first time that I did it, I'd say I walk like I was going on a normal walk at that pace, while you're supposed to walk at a slow, graceful, and like poised little walk, while I kind of just walked through it. And I got scared, and even though it was just a walk, I was scared, and seeing that many people sitting there watching me, because for the spokesmodel, which is the speech I gave, it was a much smaller room, so there were less
Audience.
people.
Mhm.
While for the formal walk, which is the walk, there were a lot more people, and especially with the judges, they all were staring at me, and having to take a 30-second walk where I'm focused on my walk and looking at others, it was a lot more stressful having to like see everyone, because my number, it's also number one. So I'm the first person who goes on stage. So when you just see all that many people and you're the first one, you're the like testy to go up on stage, it's stressful. Because you're also, if you mess up, you're the first one who sets like the opener. And for me, that was like scary, and it scared me a lot too. But then for the second walk, I told myself, they said that we have to go at a quicker pace than what the slow walk should be. And for some reason, I thought I was going at a decently slow pace the time before. So I speed run through it, and I looked like I was
She
trying to
watched
run
the
off the
recording.
stage.
Yes. So can you tell us about the walk? Can you relate your walk to your mental state? So how stressed out you were?
For sure. I felt like my walk showed a representation of that. Like I was nervous and stressed out because I was, and especially being like the opener of the show, I was
It's a lot
scared
of
and I was
pressure.
worried. It's a lot of pressure.
Pressure.
And then seeing that many people, considering the final walk was for the finale, I was scared. And I knew that the judges could probably tell I was stressed out and worried too.
Yeah.
But being on that big stage and like staying there for a minute where it's just me on stage versus like doing a dance group performance, it was a lot scarier.
A lot of pressure.
Mm-hmm.
Can you also tell us about, this is something we talk about posture and nerves? And she just said, I'm just a little bit taller.
For your posture, you always want to like sit up tall, which I definitely have a problem with because even now
I wonder why.
it's not because of the phone. It's not. For anyone that she tells that to,
It's not about
It's not
technology,
the
it's not about the phone. Back
but
to topic.
for posture, when you sit up tall, you look less stressed out and you look more,
You project
you project
confidence.
confidence and you look like serious to be there, and you're like
Graceful.
confident, you're graceful, you look good, you look professional. While if you're going like this on stage, which even though I do it, she has a point that it does look weird on stage. So when you have your good posture, roll your shoulders back, as she says.
Are you guys listening?
When you roll your shoulders back, you perform more of a confidence and you look like you know what you're doing more.
Yeah, yeah. Posture makes a difference. And also the one thing we have talked about is how your nerves and how fear alters our posture. And for those of you who are listening to the audio, I'm demonstrating how like my shoulders are rolling forward. Because that's our body language conveys what is happening inside our head. Yeah. All right, baby, let's talk about the tribe, the community, the supportive community. How did I do this weekend? Did I behave myself pretty well?
You were pretty good.
You guys, I got that caught on air. I'm going to totally save that moment.
You weren't stressing me out, and I know for a lot of people, their moms may like stress them out or they may be worried. But even if I didn't do well, instead of like tearing me down or being like, oh, like you didn't do good, which I know some moms do, but you don't. And you were like supportive and you're like, you did really good. And if I messed up, you weren't like trying to sugarcoat it, being like, oh, you did amazing. You were honest with me and you were helping me and coaching me through it, giving me your life advice, and you were overall helpful. But for the people there, everybody's really sweet and it's a fun community. And especially, we have like a party on the first day where you get to meet a lot of people. And my category goes from junior teen, teen, and misses, which range from the ages of 13 to 24. And at the party, I got to meet girls who were even older than me, who were even 20, which had their kids of their own, and they were really sweet, and they talked to you and give you advice. And especially the girls who knew what they were doing, they were very sweet and helpful. And if girls like saw something that would be as a disadvantage, instead of like trying to make it worse so that way they have a better shot, they're very supportive. And especially at the finale when everyone's getting awards, instead of like being selfish or rude or judgy, everybody stands up for each other. We're clapping, crying for each other, hugging each other. And I loved getting to meet a whole bunch of new girls who have similar aspirations as me and who are smart, independent, strong women. And I got to connect with a lot of them and get socials and phone numbers so I could keep in touch with them. And I hope to see a lot of them again next year.
Yeah, I do have to say the sense of community and support that's out there. And I do have to say the level of these exceptional women who are there. I mean, some of these girls, first of all, the topics that they gave, the quality of how they presented, it is steep competition. I will tell you guys, a lot of these girls present at a much higher level than adults I have seen present. It's pretty impressive. And there is no cattiness, there is no bullying, there is none of that. It's supportive, it's encouraging. It's a lot of emotional stuff. Girls are stressed out, there's tears because somebody hasn't won, and the community and the support that's out there for parents and kids alike is incredible. And I do want to give a special shout out to one of Sofia's friends who actually nominated Sofia to be part of the pageants and who actually showed up to support Sofia. Yeah, that was huge. Do you want to say anything to her?
She's always been a good friend of mine, and especially if I needed help, I knew I could text her, and I did text her about a few things such as like how to fix my speech, how to make things better, and she was coaching me through it, and she was making sure like, oh, I'm sure you'll do great. And not only that, but she had asked me, which was a complete surprise because I had invited her, like, if you want to come, she's of course welcome to, and so are any of my friends. And after nominating me, she came, and immediately she came and looked for me. She gave me a hug and she's like, you look gorgeous, you'll do amazing. And I'm forever thankful for her getting me into the pageants because not only is it like a fun experience, but it's good. It teaches me life skills. And throughout it, I feel like I've like became a much more independent girl, and I've learned life skills such as interviewing, giving speeches that a lot of people my age don't have, and even people at older ages don't have. And I'm forever thankful for it because not only will it help me now, but it will help me much later in life when I need it.
Yeah. And I do have to be honest, the first time when I saw the invitation for the pageant and that her friend nominated Sofia, I was like, what? A beauty pageant? I have to call myself out and say, I totally judged the experience until I started reading more about it and started seeing that this pageant is about a lot more than external beauty. Yeah, it's about presentation skill, it's about confidence, it's about poise, it's about helping those beautiful young ladies be the next generation of leaders. And like I said, the competition is steep. The quality of the people who are there, it's amazing. And like I said, it's supportive, and those pageants have really been an incredible growth opportunity for us. And I do have to say, okay, watching Sophie grow, it gives you introspect, because I think as parents, sometimes it appears that we're not scared, that we know what we're doing, and the inside of us like freaks out, like, am I doing the right thing for my kid? Do I know what I'm doing? And we face, like she said, we face those fears, we have those insecurities, and also being vulnerable with her and saying, well, you're not the only one who feels that way. I'm scared every day of stuff that I do, and this is how I put myself outside my comfort zone. We talk about these things, and she has no idea of the impact she's having on me. It's not one-sided, it's both-sided. And I'm just so proud of the young lady that she's becoming, of the confidence that I see happening in her, the awareness that's happening in her. And I tell her, if I only knew a lot of these things that she's learning now at a much younger age, my life, I don't know where it would have been today. But we all have our journeys, and she's walking hers. And I thought her sharing her story and being vulnerable, because so many times we see somebody on stage and we think like, oh, that was easy. And seeing what's happening behind the scenes, the nerves, the pressure, the facing the fears, the talks, I don't want to do this, and then still doing it despite the discomfort, that is huge, baby. I hope you know how proud I am of you. Anything else you want to share with us before we wrap up?
For anyone out there who feels stressed or like they can't do anything, or who also has self-doubt that they need to overcome, go for it because you're not the only one. Many people feel like that. And even if it brings you maybe fear, fear is just something that you need to ditch and get rid of because you're inspiring people by getting over it and shining your light, doing what you do best, because that's what helps you grow as a person. And even though it may feel uncomfortable, it's what's going to help you in the future. And even if you're my age, if you're younger, if you're
Or
older,
older.
do whatever you wish. And if you want to do it, if you want to give something a shot, if you feel like you can do it, but you're not sure or you're scared to, give it your best effort and shot because that's what people appreciate. And in the end, that's what's going to inspire others to do the same. So do whatever you want to do. You need to believe in yourself and try your best in what you do, even if it's not perfect.
So beautifully said. Okay, do you want to tell us what's your definition of rebellious?
I'd say rebellious is somebody who gives it their best, who doesn't let fear get to their way, who may be, and especially for her, someone who's active, but with someone with a good mindset, just as she says, somebody who does their best and inspires themselves to do their best and doesn't give up, because a rebellious and a leader is not somebody who gives up, but it's someone who tries their best and strives for the best possible.
I love it. Sophie, thank you, Mama. And I do have to tell you, Rebels, it was her initiative that she said, maybe we can do a podcast, right? As we were talking about yesterday. And I was like, what? You are going to do a podcast? Because we have talked about that, doing things together as we're having those deep conversations. I'm just so proud of you. I love you.
Me too.
You're amazing. Rebels, let us know what kind of questions you have for her or for me or for both of us. I second her message. Whatever your heart desires, go after it. The fear will always be there. Don't let that be a stopping point for you. Stepping outside of the comfort zone is what helps us grow and what helps us change our lives. And that's what helps us change the world. So let's be game changers. Let's stay rebellious, do our best, and go head on. Let's do it. Yeah?
I agree.
Yeah. High five. You guys, stay rebellious, and we will see you next time. Don't forget to share, comment, and subscribe. Did you enjoy the conversation? Like, subscribe, and share with your friends. Want to redefine your success equation to include a healthy body and a healthy mind? Check out our website at rebellious-studio.com.